For heaven's sake, how is it difficult?
To choose life.
Do you understand? Blessings and curses. Why would you pick a curse? Right? Why would you pick a curse? Now, so God's jealousy is overall just for us to be able to enjoy all his bounty, all his faithfulness, all his righteousness, so that at the end of the day, we'll continue to have fellowship with him, the perfection, the peace. Hi guys, welcome to this episode of UNWALLED. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very well. How's your day?
It was long. It was a long day.
It was a rainy day.
It was rainy
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So how did you enjoy it?
Oh, well, I was with my friend for most of the day in the hospital. But yeah, it was okay. How was your day?
Not bad. Lots of sleep.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Rest is good.
The weather was very cold.
Yeah.
So just a cup of coffee and then straight to bed.
I envy you. That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the topic of envy, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
So there's this two random girls, and they're just having a good friendship. One of them gets engaged and gets a boyfriend, and the other one isn't really supportive of the boyfriend, for different reasons, and she's always rooting for them to end the relationship. What are your thoughts on that?
So you use the word envy. So do I sense jealousy instead of envy? Because, well, you may help me out. My English may not be too good, but I think I don't see, when you use the word envy, it's as though you want to take over. The second lady wants to take over the guy.
Yeah.
Right? So, but when I mean the word, when I use the word jealousy, I see a form of, okay, they've been friends for a very long time, I suppose.
Yes.
And in this friendship, they built a very strong bond with one another.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this random guy, Prince Charming, comes along, right? Correct? Yeah. Now, so for me, I just see that as living in denial. Okay? You're just living in denial. Whoever these people are, you're just living in denial, because the second person could readily fall in love as well.
Yeah.
And move on. So what happens when that happens, and then the first lady now begins to feel the same?
I see. So basically, you think they need to accept it and move
exactly.
on.
I think they just need to accept reality and move on.
Okay. So I guess this question is kind of personal to me, because I have a friend.
I sensed it.
I have a friend, a really very good friend, and she got a boyfriend. And I mean, for some people, they thought I didn't approve of it just because I wouldn't get to spend as much time with her. But in reality, I didn't think the guy was a good fit for her. So I was against the relationship because I thought she deserved better. I thought she deserved a man of God that would spur her in different areas of life to be better and motivate her to be better. And considering she was into this relationship, she was obviously spending her time there, and whether you permit it or not, you're going to be affected by that person. So I thought she should be with a better person. So I was against that relationship. But a lot of people thought I was just coming from a place of jealousy. I mean, did I think if she let go of him, she would spend more time with me? Yes. So I can understand where jealousy comes into it. But it wasn't all jealousy. There was good intentions as well. So do you think that is okay?
So from what you just said, you did whatever you did out of love. Is that correct? So you were only looking out for her and her best interest, right? And I feel there are better ways to communicate such feelings or such thoughts. maybe you should have spent much time or longer time when you get the chance to, because lovebirds are always a difficult thing to separate or to come in between. Okay, so there's a dose of wisdom that you'll have to apply to be able to get her to understand your own point of view or to see it from a different light. Definitely, like every other person, she might have this feeling you're trying to because she doesn't have a boyfriend, so definitely, and she would only want to control her thoughts or her feelings, or just probably control whatever she wants to say, simply because both of you have grown so neatly, so I feel there's a better way to say it. You could talk as much as you want to, or you can as well just take the back seat, let it slide for a while, let them enjoy the time, enjoy the moment until that point where the honeymoon period elapses, and then you'll be able to share your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. That's my candid opinion anyways. So in that light, as believers, right? I've heard this severally, that God is a jealous God. It's there in the scriptures. Yeah. He said he doesn't want to share man with any other person. And it's clear, like he couldn't even resist the urge to say it. Children of Israel, he reminded them, you cannot make any other God before me. You cannot serve any other God before me. Yeah. And time after time, we see the children of Israel disobey this, right? So what would you say about God being a jealous God? Because he said it himself in his word.
That is a very, very tricky topic, I guess, because when we think of jealousy, we think of all things bad. We think of resentment. We think of basically coveting someone's property or even their personality. And so when the Bible tells us something like God is a jealous God, and his jealousy is like, it comes with vengeance when you don't stay with him. But with God, I think his jealousy is righteous. First and foremost, because he is God and he is incapable of wrong. So if he's able to be jealous, then there's such a thing as righteous jealousy, because he cannot be doing things wrong. So I feel God is righteously jealous. And when we think of jealousy with our human self, we're thinking of the worldly jealousy, which is far from righteous.
Far from righteous. So, in my opinion, I see that God is only being the word jealous because he's doing all of these things out of love, he's doing all of these things from a place of love. Okay, so I liken this to. So let me give you a personal experience. The only way I know I'm in love with someone is when I get jealous about them spending the time that's supposed to be allotted to me with another person. In fact, the mess side of it, come on now. It just tears that form of jealousy. So I may show it, I may not show it. All right. But deep down on the inside, I feel it. And that's because I genuinely love that person. Yeah. All right. So in my opinion, I see it that God is describing himself as a jealous God from a place of love. And his own form of love is genuine with no negative thoughts. That's what makes it righteous. Yes. All right. So like you rightly said, righteousness is what compels him to do what he did for us and what he's doing for us. So if someone genuinely loves you, and especially when there's a relationship in between, there's something in between, right? So I feel that's a form of agreement or a form of contract.
Yeah.
All right. So it's legit for that person to feel jealous. And in fact, I think it's even healthy if the person is even opening up.
It's definitely good to open up if you're
Do you
getting
get-
jealous. That's the best way to catch yourself, because or else it's just going to go into worldly jealousy, which is wrong.
Exactly. And then I also feel there's a thin line between jealousy and obsession.
Definitely.
You get? So
Yeah.
it can just drift from that point. But no, that's not the point God is coming from. God is coming from a point of jealousy because he wants an intimacy with us.
Yeah.
All right? And his intimacy with us is to our own advantage, not to his own advantage, because he still remains God.
Yeah.
Irrespective. Whether we love him, we don't love him, he still remains God.
So what I'm hearing from you is that what makes God's jealousy righteous is the fact that it's not about him.
Mm-hmm.
So even when it's like all jealousy stems from love,
Of
obviously. Whether it's love for the person's property, the love for the person, time, all of that, it all stems from love. But then God's jealousy is righteous because it's not about him. And usually when you're falling in love with someone, you're jealous because you want that time for yourself. So that isn't necessarily righteous just because it's love.
Well, so when you say there's no righteous but God,
Yeah.
all right? So when you use the word righteous, it has to be with God.
Yeah.
So man,
That's right.
man can't. I won't say, well, the righteousness of God is also, as well rubbing off on man. So I can't say man is righteous. So because man can't be righteous.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So man can't dish out a righteous jealousy like God did.
So do you think any jealousy a human feels is wrong? Is that your opinion? Is that your thoughts based on the Bible, your understanding, all of that? Or do you think humans are capable of holy love, whether righteous or not righteous, but like jealousy in a good way?
Yes, I think jealousy can stem from a good reason. I take the example from your story, okay? You did that out of love because you meant well for your friend, right? You didn't want to see her hurt. You felt she deserves better. And then from your judgment of the person she's with, you don't think they complement each other. So you thought she would have been better of a person than spending the whole time with this person, all right? So it's out of the goodness of your heart, okay? So that can as well mean that your jealousy is from good intentions, all right? So like God, he wouldn't want to see man share his time with another God. Mind you, the God that man is going to share him with will likely be built by man or be something God built for man to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So why spend the time with something that was made for you to enjoy and not serve the person that made the thing?
Right.
You get? So, and all that there is, just come. Just make the choice, come and let's spend the time together. Forget about all these things. I made all of these things just for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you let them be, right? And come to me. So come on, after all of these things I've given, in fact, come on now. Let's be honest. After his death, after the death of Christ, after the resurrection of Christ,
Yeah.
he's sharing his own inheritance. In fact, his own holy place, he's sharing it with us. Yet again, after all of these things, you now go serve another thing. Come on, let's be honest. How would you feel? You deeply love someone and all that this person can give to you is cheating.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that. It's
Come on.
like, even
Come
if it's
on.
not in a relationship, like romantic relationship, even with like your siblings
Mm-hmm.
or your family, where you just love them to the extent that you want best for them, and you just see them doing something stupid with your life, and you're like, come on. Like that in that instance, I feel like you're jealous for them, not of them. Because it's not like you're jealous of this thing they're doing or this thing they have. You're more jealous for them. Like, you want them to do the right thing. You want them to receive the best thing. So when they just end up maybe doing the wrong things, following the wrong friends, it's just irking for you to see, I'm giving you everything. Like, when you sacrifice something and they just let your sacrifice go like it was nothing. Like, how do you even go from that?
How do you go from so you see that you can genuinely be jealous for someone.
Yeah.
You can genuinely it's jealousy, in my opinion, is not a bad thing. But how it's expressed is what makes it either bad or good.
I feel like jealousy in itself can be bad.
Okay.
Depending on what jealousy it is. Because jealousy can be defined like as two different things. Jealousy in and of itself can be similar to envy. It can be like when you're feeling resentment towards someone for their accomplishments, achievements, and stuff. So in that instance where you might not even know the person so well, it's just they have this life that you want and instantly you're jealous, whether you do anything about it or not. That feeling that you're just jealous, like if you look at it and you're maybe motivated by it, that is good. But if you just see it and automatically you're resenting them or you're resenting their achievements, I think from that point it's already wrong. But jealousy can also be like when you're fiercely protective, when you just want their best interest kind of thing. So that kind, like when you're already just starting from that point, like the intention from that point already kind of spurs you to whether it's right or wrong. So I think that's one way to know if your jealousy is bad from the onset. Like,
so again, drawing from what you just said, the point where you realize your jealousy is bad is when you begin to have this sense of covetousness.
Yeah.
So why not take the positives out of it? Why not get motivated to do something?
Exactly.
To just take a step or do something to achieve the same result or better result. Why would you covet? So the time when you begin to have this feeling of covetousness, now you begin to sense that, oh, actually, this is not right.
Yeah.
The feeling is not right. Now that is the difference between the jealousy of God and the jealousy of man. Because the jealousy of God doesn't push him to the point of covetousness. All right?
Yeah.
It doesn't push him to that point. That's because God has given us the free will. In fact, it's so interesting that he gave man the option to choose. We've heard severally Moses say, I've before you is life, death. Choose life. Right? But how is it difficult? For heaven's sake, how is it difficult?
To choose life.
Do you understand? Blessings and curses. Why would you pick a curse? Right? Why would you pick a curse? Now, so God's jealousy is overall just for us to be able to enjoy all his bounty, all his faithfulness, all his righteousness, so that at the end of the day, we'll continue to have fellowship with him, the perfection, the peace, everything that, in fact, one of the greatest things that moved me mightily about God's jealousy is the fact that he really, really wants to bring us to the place of rest. Okay, that place of rest. Come on now. In fact, anytime I go to sleep and in an attempt to rest, it's the most beautiful time. So come think of it when God is the one giving us that rest.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why his jealousy, in fact, he's I won't even call it jealousy. In fact, I don't even know what form of motivation is that one. I don't even know. Because that's the reason why I come to the conclusion that His jealousy is from the place of love. And because it's from the place of love, it automatically allows us the choice to either accept or reject.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, relating it back to your story, you both, I said, you have to accept reality. You have to make the choice.
Yeah.
Either you accept it that, oh, my friend is happy or sad, and you move on to your life.
Yeah.
Or you keep living in denial. You get, so for me, that's just it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what differentiates us from God.
And just to add, when you talked about covetousness, it just clicked in my head, like, humans are usually jealous because we are kind of putting ourselves in competition with others, because we're comparing ourselves to them. So it's like, if you can have that thing, I can have it too. I want it too. If this person is living like this, it should be me. And so when you think of life as a competition, who should get here first, how they should get there, that's when jealousy creeps in. But when you realize that this life, there's no competition, it's about you and being the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself, then that way you can check out jealousy. Like, you support people's wins because they're getting to the better versions of yourself, and you support yourself too to be the better version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's one way, like, I realized, like, I want your stuff when I begin to think, like, I deserve that. I'm competing with you. Mm-hmm. It's a race, but life is really not a race. And because God isn't in competition with us, he can't really have that kind of covetous jealousy. Mm-hmm. He owns everything. So once we realize, like, as children of God, we are co-heirs to God, like, these earthly things, it's basically ours, even if you think about it. So there's no point of being jealous of something that God has told you it is yours. He has said, as my child, you will not lack. So why should you be jealous of this person's money? So jealousy, a way to combat jealousy, I guess, is finding truth in God, finding truth in the fact that we already have these things that we are jealous of. It's just about focusing on yourself and how to be your better version. Yeah.
That's very correct. That's very, very correct. Thank you very much for sharing your story, and thank you very much for the wonderful conversation. For me, it's very insightful. Definitely. Very, very insightful.
Yeah.
So I love to have this conversation and sometime soon.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you more on the show. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's all for now. Thanks, guys. Do have a lovely evening. Bye.
I climb to the highest mountain.